So you got your property on the market, you have an open house, very successful, and you have a few offers coming in. How do you vet the buyer? Let's talk about it. What's going on, good guys? Chris Newton here, Chris Newton Real Estate, chrisnewtonrealestate.com. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. How do you vet a buyer? How? That's a very good question, and that's a question that a lot of agents may or may not know, and it's a question that a lot of homeowners may or may not know. It's a question that some buyers may or may not know. It's true, I'm sorry, right? So, how do you vet a buyer? There's several ways you have to go about it, right? If you want to know all the ways, you call Chris. Boom, Chris, whoop, 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 and we talk about it. Step number one, how is your buyer financing the property? How is your buyer financing the property? Are they financing the property through the bank, through a financial institution? Yes, no, maybe so. Let's say they are. First thing you do, hopefully you have an agent. First thing you do is you have your agent. Your agent should call the bank. Okay, so your agent calls the bank, call the loan officer and ask them to bring up the file. Now you guys are looking at the same thing. So you have the pre-approval in front of you, or the agent has the pre-approval in front of you. The loan officer has the pre-approval in front of them. So now now it's time to talk business. You ask them a few questions. Have they put the money down yet? What's their bank accounts looking like? They can't tell you everything that's going on, but what's the possibility of this property or this deal not closing? What's the probability? They'll tell you what's going on because they have to tell you. So now, it's a credit in check. Now here are more questions that you want to ask. Is this loan process? You want them to process the loan. What does this mean? The loan has to get processed eventually. Is this desktop underwritten? So the desktop underwritten is basically, it's like it goes into a system, so on and so forth, an underwriting system, where the stuff is combed through, like a comb. They fine tooth, it's like a fine tooth comb. They go through every single thing, every single transaction, everything, their credit, all of their finances, just to make sure that this deal closes. You don't want to get to the closing table, or now they're going to process the loan 2 weeks before the closing time, and then something happens, something pops up, and now nobody can get any. That's going to frustrate everybody. So the best thing for you guys to do, make sure that the loan is processed early. Make sure that it's desktop underwritten early. Wow, you do not want anything popping up. That's going to piss you off. Okay, so this is how you vet the buyer. Now, let's say it's cash. How do you vet a cash buyer? The best way to vet a cash buyer is to, 1, look at the statement. So request the statement. 1. 2, call the number that's on the statement. Look up the address that's on the statement, because some buyers, quote unquote buyers, will develop or conjure up fake statements. So if you do not want to be a victim of fake statements, you look at these statements, you look up the address that's on the statement, you look up the address of the company, whether it's Chase, Bank of America, whoever it is. Maybe it's a private lender. You look that up to make sure it's official. You look it up to make sure it's legitimate. You also want to make sure that it doesn't look doctored, right? You want to make sure that the fonts are the same size, the same font. You want to make sure that the letterhead isn't blurred off or something like that, or it looks digitized. You want to make sure all of these things are intact. Why? Because people will conjure up some fake stuff. Okay, you have contract flippers out there, which will basically, they'll go into a contract with you. They'll say, okay, I'll buy the property. It's $1 million. I'll do all cash, $750,000. Show you some fake documents, get you all excited. Now you guys go on a contract because it's a quick close. And meanwhile, he got you in contract and he's trying to find somebody to buy him out of that contract so he can make a quick $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. Listen, boom, 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 do this. Well, I only really got this amount of money in my bank account, so take this over and so on and so forth, and just buy it for $760, buy it for $770, or so, and do that. And now you all messed up. So you want to make sure that these statements are real. You want to make sure that the loans are going to go through. Make sure that the loan isn't expired. Okay, make sure that the loan isn't expired. Now, for the most part, let's say it's September and the loan expired August. That's not such a big deal. It's not such a big deal. Yes, you want the agent to go back and tell them, listen, it's expired. Can I get a new one? So on and so forth. For the most part, it's not. Now, if it's September and the loan expired in May, something may be different. So they're going to have to go through that process basically all over again, or basically send updated information. Once they send that updated information to the loan officer who already has it, if everything stays the same, it'll be a smooth process, smooth transaction as far as getting the financials ready. So that's how you want to vet the buyer. Also, call Chris. Why? Because Chris is certified in mortgage loan origination, so I know exactly what to do, what to look for, how is this going to go through, so on and so forth. I'm going to make sure your buyer is going to be able to buy the property. All right, talk to you guys soon. Have a great one. Later.